This is a gentle art lifestyle / my odyssey long form discussion with Nick Lee and Joshua Janis. I am Joshua Janis.
I am Nick Lee.
If you guys didn't get that by the intro. Okay, so today we are talking about coaching and the benefits of coaching, and we're going to go through some of the benefits that we've found and talk about some of the benefits that our clients have found, which is probably more important.
Absolutely, yes.
Sound
Coaching
good?
is great.
And scene. Okay, so one of the biggest things that I didn't realize before I got into the coaching space was you didn't need, I thought the coach needed to know everything.
Right.
And as a coach, and Nick, I assume you're going to agree with this, I don't think that I know everything. Do you think that you know everything?
Definitely not.
I don't think that makes us bad coaches. I think that makes us wise coaches. The nice thing about things is we just have to supply perspective.
Absolutely.
Objective perspective. And that seems to be the biggest benefit, or at least from my standpoint, is providing people with objective perspective. That's more information that they can make better decisions. And those better decisions impact their lives in all sorts of different ways. What do you think the best, or what? Not the best. I hate absolutes. What do you?
Only Sith.
What's been the thing that you've thought about from a coaching perspective of why somebody would have a coach?
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's definitely perspective. It's having that person that is not in the thick of it that can guide you into making the decisions you want to make, that helps you get through the thick of it, ultimately.
Yeah. And what do you mean by not in the thick of it?
By, like you said, objective, third-party person that's, they're not in the middle of it. So what I mean by that is they're able to see more than what you can see. Because sometimes when you have all the emotions around whatever situation you're in, or when you just feel like there's no other way, a coach is able to zoom out and have a much broader perspective over the course of your life, or the course of your month, the course of your week, and give you other things to think about that will help you make different decisions than the things you've already tried.
Yeah, from my perspective, I think when people feeling emotion, and when people feel emotion, that leads to different judgments, and those judgments block them off from certain information that may be beneficial for making these decisions.
Or maybe it's something you don't want to hear, or something you don't want to think about when you're in the middle of it, because that would mean you're wrong, or you're losing, or your ego gets in the way because you want things to be X, Y, and Z, but actually it is Z, Y, X.
I like how you're right. Z, Y, X. Can you do the alphabet backwards?
Definitely not.
Yeah,
only three letters.
I did it one day. It took me like a couple hours to like figure it out. Just doing it, like, okay, and I haven't never done it since, and I don't plan on doing it again.
All right.
I can say that I did it, and it took me a while. Anyway, I digress. Back to coaching. So when you start with a client, what is the first thing that you try to do?
The first thing I try to do is, first off, make sure that we get along with each other and we have enough trust where somebody's able to share some of the, more deep thoughts and feelings that they're going through on a daily, weekly basis. Because, getting past small talk with somebody is really important, and it is hard to open yourself up into sharing things that you wouldn't normally share with somebody that you don't know on a deeper level. And that's probably the first step of coaching, making sure that we get along really well and we're able to share information with each other. And then the step after that is just gathering information on where they are in their life and what they think they want to focus on versus, and then you've said this in other videos, looking for the congruence in what they think they want to focus on and what their actions are actually speaking of what they're doing on a daily basis.
Right. So when you say, there's a huge point there.
Yeah.
And you said it, trust. Like, you said it like, we have to get along and we have to trust each other. Like, I mean, I guess I get along with all my clients, but I don't even know that I would need to.
Yeah.
As long as they trust that I'm going to supply objective perspective and I'm not going to judge them, and I'm just looking for the best information for them, asking questions for them. To me, if you have trust, then perfect.
Yeah.
It seems as though, like, whenever I start with somebody, it's just that. So it is a lot of times, like, if you like each other, it's way easier to form that trust.
Right.
But frankly, trust, just coming into any situation, whether it be with My Odyssey with businesses or whether it be Gentle Lifestyle with individuals, building trust with the team or building trust with the individuals, I think that's the most important first step.
Yeah, that's very true. And, getting along with people does help for sure. And it makes working with people easier. But especially on the business side, you're not going to get along with everybody that you're working with. And that's very apparent in, company cultures. You don't get along with all of your coworkers. You get along with the ones that you want to get along with, I guess. But building that trust is really important to continue on working projects together or to be able to share good information with each other.
Yeah. I can think of a business client working with a team that I didn't particularly get along with, but there was a mutual trust there to get the job done.
Right.
And, worked out. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So once you build trust, and I think you kind of tapped into it, but what do you do next?
The next part after building trust is, first off, making sure you're getting the right information that you need by asking good questions. Because, if I only asked about, I don't know, the tea that you're drinking every day and just asking you if you were feeling all right every day, that's not going to that's not going to get us a lot of information to work on to reach your goals or to build strategies or to change habits or anything like that. So we either dive deeper into certain topics by asking more specifics, or we keep moving along the conversation in order to find the topics that are really bugging somebody or the incongruences in their lives based on what they say they want and what they're actually doing.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people they'll have these things that are bugging them, like you're saying, but that's not normally the root of the problem.
Right.
It's just a symptom. And it's up to us with strategic and sharp questions to figure out what the actual root of the problem is. And that can be challenging sometimes. That can take some time. I don't know for you, but for me, like what we work on in the first month may be a little bit different than what we work on in the 6th month.
Absolutely that, yes.
So, okay, so what you're saying is we build trust and then we ask questions, listen, and then how do we go about things?
After we've asked the right questions and developed gathered information that's going to help us figure out what we should actually work on, then we work on building a system to first become more aware of what it is we want to either change or become aware of, so we get actual proper information about it. Secondly, then we create some sort of action. After we're aware of what's happening, we create some sort of, action is the last step, actually. We have to figure out the real desire behind the awareness. And then we follow through with actions on a daily basis. And we do that through our weekly meetings. We talk specifically about what's going on, but also we gather information with online systems using worksheets and other accountability tracking systems.
So, all great points. When you're talking, we just have to, when you turn your head, like just try to keep it, closer that way. And maybe there we go.
Yeah, I think that'll help.
I think that'll help too. Okay. So what you said is we're helping them gain the awareness of the problem that they need, understanding the scale of desire, right? How much do they actually want it?
Right.
And then we're giving them actions. And within those actions, it's worksheets. Within those actions, it's daily routines. It's normally small things to start out with. because those small things turn into big things.
It all adds up.
Yeah. So obviously Nick and I work together, so we're on the same page. But when it comes to what we're talking about, it's just habit formation science. So how do we program ourselves like we're damn computers? The more that I do this, I think we are in a simulation.
Yeah.
Just as an FYI, it's crazy because we operate in these like similar patterns. Like we operate like, okay, we just got to program this. And once we program this, then that's just what we do every day. And
right. And then there's a lot of similarities between clients who would never even talk to each other also. And a lot of themes that just pop up randomly that a lot of people are working on, like trends.
Yeah. Yeah. It's absolutely wild. I said it in one of the other videos, but the secret to life, as I say it, but realistically, something that I see that trends across everybody is the idea of congruence. And figuring out when people are not congruent with each other, it adds stress. It adds stress to themselves. It adds stress to their situations. And finding that incongruence and then figuring out different tasks, different daily tasks that we can work to get those things congruent. I don't think there's a bigger thing that I've found yet that's able to help people. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, congruence really is the number one single most thing that can help people stay on track based on their actions and their thoughts to relieve stress.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so our goal in this is our first one. So we don't really have like, who knows where this goes. I hope to look back on this, 200 of these down the line on our Patreon here and be like, oh, that's pretty neat. I'm glad that, look at how clunky we were. Look at how.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. Giggity. Okay. I don't know what that was. I'm so sorry. But I hope to look back on this and obviously we are taking action currently and we're going to improve it. But I think our goal today was to talk a little bit about the coaching that we do. We'll keep it to individual on this one instead of business with My Odyssey. So gentle art lifestyle stuff. And then I'd like to talk about some of the improvements or some of the things that we will commonly work with clients.
Yes.
Would you like to go first? Would you like to take a swing at?
Yeah, I do have an idea of a client that I've worked with. And when I started working with him, he had this habit of finding himself in heated debates on the internet all the time.
Debates on the internet. So constantly angry at the world because the world's so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also everybody's wrong.
Of course, right. Yeah.
But that was kind of what he was working on, but I was able to see from an outside perspective that it was also affecting just daily interactions throughout his daily life. So interactions with his family, interactions with coworkers, interactions with friends. The habit was to debate things or bring up things to argue about. Even when there's, you don't always need to argue about everything that's happening, but you could certainly do that if you wanted to.
How often is that argument serving you and the purpose that you want?
I don't think there was a purpose.
Right.
Right. And what we worked on was becoming aware of how often it was happening. And also we shifted from debating or arguing, we shifted to gratitude for the place that person shared in our lives, whether it be sharing the mats in jiu-jitsu or sharing the home with the family or sharing the working space and the mission to work together in the workplace, becoming grateful. And that really increased his relationships, increased his trust with the people that he's normally talking to, and dramatically decreased the amount of stress he was experiencing because he was no longer arguing as much as he was.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And we did not rehearse this. I have a very similar story that I'm now going to share.
Wonderful.
Uh,
It's a trend.
it's crazy how like people are very different, but also people are very the same. So I have a client who had a blow up with his family. We'll just say angry. Same thing. Like would be at work and would just listen to. Oh gosh, not that like as a coach, politics don't come into play. Like we don't judge either way, whether you're right, left, center, it doesn't matter. But this particular client would listen to like conservative radio every day for 8 hours a day, and it like, oh, I can't believe this is. I can't believe they're doing this to us. I can't believe this. And he was just angry.
Mm-hmm.
And then that translated into a big blow up with his family. That was just it. It wasn't about politics, but it was.
He was bringing that energy.
Yes, all the time. That energy was just there, and it's just ready to spark. And once that blow up happened, and kind of broke up his, not permanently. We've worked together for a while, and things are great now. But for temporarily, his daughter wasn't talking to him, and things like that. And
The little things adding up to a lot of things.
Yeah,
The bigger things.
Yes, and same thing. Like, okay, build trust. Talk to him. Okay, he knew that he had awareness that he had a problem, and he had desire to take action. And we started with, again, this isn't rehearsed. We started with the same thing, with being grateful. And I suggested to take down the 8 hours of diversive radio at work and try to fill that with something else. He chose to take it away completely.
Sure.
And wow, like the difference, like that, I don't try to do things that would be difficult, like right at the beginning, right? Like,
yeah, you don't want to make big changes.
Yeah, it's not that we don't, it's that they just don't stick normally, right?
Yeah, it's hard to maintain
Yes.
such drastic changes.
Yeah, like I don't go to the gym at all, and then I'm going to go to the gym 6 days a week for 2 hours. Like that's just not.
Right. Like if I drink 5 cups of coffee a day and I want to quit drinking coffee, I'm not going to immediately stop drinking coffee.
This sounds a little personal over there, Nick.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is tea, obviously.
It is now. Anyway, so yeah, he took that out completely within the first week. He said, I see how that makes me, and hearing about it, he's like, I realize that my life is not really being impacted on a daily basis by that.
It's not changing what you're doing.
No. And it's not like, he was in politics or was, it just was driving him bonkers. And it on no matter what side, it's going to drive you bonkers. Anyway, he got rid of that. We worked on a habit of gratitude and then progressively worked up from there. And now he is great with his family. He, like, little things. So, like, he also, this will shock you to hear this, but, like, he also would get road rage when driving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shocking, right? Like, and now he's totally curbed that. I mean, every once in a while, he'll put in the sheets, that it happened, but
Sure.
In general, his happiness has skyrocketed. And it's all the work that he's done. He had the awareness, he had the desire, he's taken the action. What I did was just give him the opportunity to do so, give him the information, and then hold him accountable.
It's like he was on a path, and it's that, the cross, it's got the sign that says, continue listening to the radio.
Yeah.
See what happens if you go this way and you don't listen to the radio, where these two paths will diverge. And he chose to take the path without the radio.
Yes. Accountability. It sounds like, like we can all, New Year, this is a great time. We're filming this right before New Year's Eve. And as we go into the new year, so many people make New Year's resolutions, and they which is great. Like, it's good to look at things, bring awareness to things that you'd like to change, understand the desire that you have them. However, if you don't hold yourself accountable, that's incongruent to what you were saying, and it's going to add stress to your life.
Yep.
If you're unable to hold yourself accountable, hire a coach to help you hold yourself accountable. That's another big piece of what we do is we hold the people that we work with accountable to whatever it is that they say. Not what we don't tell them what to do, or I don't tell them what to do. You tell anybody what to do?
No, definitely not.
No.
And sometimes we'll get that question, what do you think I should do? And I'm always like, well, it depends. And
Yes.
this is your decision to make.
My jiu-jitsu students know that answer very well.
Yes.
Yeah.
The best answer. What should you do here? What would you do? It depends. What's the goal? What do you want to be? What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of life do you want to live? I almost messed up my words there.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I almost said, what kind of live do you want to live?
Oh, okay.
But
I mean, I would have got it, I think. Weirdly, it went to the Mandarin, like chew and live and then life. Oh, dang. Now I can see that, whatever.
anyways,
Yeah, we just took a left turn. Sorry about that. We're both happen to be learning Mandarin, and it's going swimmingly.
anyhow.
Yeah, exactly. Huh? Anyway, so what?
Yeah, so we don't give them advice. People will say, what should I do? And we help them make the decision themselves.
That's right. Yeah, it's never. There's no way that we could ever have the amount of information to make the decision that they do. They have way more information, no matter what they're telling us. They could spend an hour on a certain topic telling us what happened and all the information of what's led up to this.
Yeah.
And that's going to be 0.000001 of what it actually is, of all the information that's actually there.
Right. And it really does depend what you want the outcome of any certain situation to be. And again, like I said, what kind of person you want to be, what kind of person you want to say that you are.
So
finding congruence there.
the name of our personal coaching business is Gentle Art Lifestyle. Gentle Art Lifestyle because everybody that coaches actually happens to train, which is really neat. Train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, by the way. And I know this is a big part of how Nick coaches. How beneficial do you find it? Or like I've never really asked this question in this way to you, so I'm quite interested. What do you believe is some of the biggest impacts that jiu-jitsu has made on your ability to coach?
Yeah, using jiu-jitsu as a coaching vehicle has been like the best thing. I love it because it's so easy to extrapolate situations on the mat into situations in life in a daily basis. So say you're stuck in side control and you're just being pinned. You can just continue to be pinned if you want, and you can tap out. You can quit whatever that is that you're doing. But using jiu-jitsu as the vehicle, so making some sort of frames, making some sort of adjustments, using information from the pressure that somebody's giving you in top side control to either off-base them, start to walk your foot out using different techniques, using different movements in order to make a little bit of space, and then that little bit of space can turn into a lot of bit of space, and you can start to build escapes or use different techniques or counter moves or use your base, use their base. All those things are analogous to what we do in coaching on a daily basis, looking for the habits that we can reinforce, those would be like the frames, making the decisions, that would be the techniques that we're using, and also staying calm, breathing, not freaking out. That would be us handling our emotions on a daily basis. The other part of it is ego. If you are pinned in bottom side control and you don't believe you're pinned in bottom side control, that's your ego talking.
Right.
But same thing in life. If you are in a situation but you want to say, no, I can do something else about this, that's also your ego talking.
Man, you said something there that was fucking beautiful that I'd never thought about. Use the information from the person applying pressure to then dictate what you do. It's so easy if you're getting smashed. For those of you that do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if you've done it for a day, excuse me, if you've done it for a day, then you've been smashed.
Yes.
You,
Rule number one, get smashed.
You will get smashed. And it's hard to think about getting smashed in any other way but losing.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just information.
It is.
Because now after 20 years of training, I'll put myself in bad positions all the time, and I'll be getting smashed, and then 15 seconds later, I'll sub the person.
That's right.
So I was I lose? Like, no, I wasn't losing. I'm not. I listen better now to that information that they're giving me, and that information is, I want to, I want to pin you, I want to hold you down, I want to smash your face into the mat.
Right.
Yeah, just listen to that, and like you said, analogous to life, like whatever you're going through,
there's information there.
There's information there, and that's what we really try to extract.
Absolutely. Like if you're trying to get over a hurdle, you're able to figure out like what the hurdle is made out of. If the hurdle is solid, if you can dig underneath the hurdle, if it's really hot, really cold hurdle that you can't climb or something, or if you can go around
really
it.
Hot hurdle.
Really hot, like you can't climb it because it's made out of lava.
The lava hurdle. You heard it here first. How to get over. We are the only coaches that will tell you how to get over hot lava hurdles.
Well, you can at least get information.
Yeah, you're right. Well, good catch.
Or how long the hurdle is, or how high, how short, if you can go around it or not. This is all different information that helps you make some sort of decision whether or not you even want to go over that hurdle.
Right. And that, as we talked about in the beginning, any emotion that you have towards it, any judgment that you have towards it is going to put on blinders to the information that you have.
Yes.
And that's where coaches come in.
Yes, a coach will be able to look from a top-down view, see you looking at the hurdle, and help you gather that perspective. If I think it's an icy cold hurdle, and Josh is like, Nick, that lava, that hurdle is made out of lava.
Right.
And I'm like, well, no, it's not. I think it's cold.
Right.
He's going to be like, well, it's not.
Well, no, I won't say, well, it's not. I'll be like, what gives you that indication that it's cold?
That's true.
Right. We've dove down this like weird lava hurdle, which doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
But it does, but it doesn't. All right.
Right.
Anyway, but we never, very, very, very rarely do we say, oh, well, this is a hot hurdle. We ask question, well, what is indicating that it's cold? Because there might be something there that we're missing, right? And it's important to ask those questions. Again, objective perspective. All we're trying to do is increase the amount of information so you can make better decisions. When you look at the value of any coach, like, what is it worth? So I'll take my the perspective. What is it worth for that individual to have their family back together again? What is it worth to have better relationships with your coworkers? What is it worth to have your average day just feel average, and then after a year of coaching, it feels great? What is that? What is that value? Right? Like it's humongous. And it's really the reason why I love this career.
I would agree.
It's just the best. It's just providing perspective that people aren't able to see, but the growth and the beauty and the relationships and the trust and all of that.
All of that is truly wonderful and priceless. The other thing that I find is a huge benefit for the coaching that we do in personal coaching at Gentle Art Lifestyle is being that non-judgmental person that you can share this information with. Even sometimes people just want to vent about things.
Yeah.
There's plenty of times where we'll start a call and someone will just say like, hey, this is just something I went through over the week. I'm good with it, but I just want to share it with you and just get it off my chest. And people feel so much better venting to somebody that's not going to put them down for whatever they're venting about. That's where us as a non-judgmental third party really helps people in that area also.
Yeah, we're not going to tell them what they should have done or whatever. We're just going to take it as information. Okay, well, that happened.
Right.
What do you want the next steps to be? What do you
Yeah.
think that we should be doing to get to those next steps?
Yeah. Or like this has never happened to them before and they're just sharing it and it's like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so wonderful for mental health to have that outlet.
It's an outlet for sure. We're letting steam out of the lava hurdle.
And on that note, I think we're going to try to keep these to a half an hour. Yeah, that's the idea.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, so we are damn near that half an hour mark. So anything closing as to just the general benefit of coaching that you can think of?
I think we hit all of the things that are really there. Looking for congruency, looking for accountability, having a non-judgmental third party or objective viewer to look in sort of into the situations in life that you're going through. Those really are all priceless things.
Yeah.
That help people on their journeys through life.
Yeah, and that accountability, and there's so many things that we can help with. Whatever challenges that you're facing, we can help with most of them because we don't tell you what to do. We just give you perspective and ask questions. You know what to do.
Right.
We just help you bring that out.
Absolutely.
And hold you accountable to it. All right. Well, this is our first long form episode for our Patreon, Gentle Art Lifestyle. I hope to see you on episode 200 down the line. All right.
All right. We'll see you soon.
See you guys.